Yeah, how you doing? It's Fred Wood checking in. Because this month is the International Underground Railroad month, and the reason why is because Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman both escaped slavery in September. And so we really want to honor that, right? And the fact that we doing a movement right now that combines, right, the history of the past, which was our ancestors fighting for freedom and liberation. We know it was multicultural. It took good white folks and black folks, you know what I'm saying, that was enslaved. Never a slave because we resisted that, but enslaved yet and still, to like come together collectively, right, and build a relational network to be able to get free or get to Canada to try to get to freedom. So I'm really excited. Today, we actually had some of y'all go to like, I want to hear about what happened today. I know me and Dante, we actually went to, what's the name of the Underground Railroad site?
The Cozad.
Cozad.
No, Cozad Baker House, right?
Yeah. Bates.
Cozad Bates House.
Yeah, that's down on the lower part of Mayfield and where Euclid meet. Yeah. And I know I was looking on the sidewalk and it said that it was a lady. She actually walked 513 miles en route to freedom.
It would have took 6 days and 3 hours to get there from that point to Orlando, Canada.
Or Ontario.
Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
So,
And that's like if she was just walking, she walking, hiding,
Right.
can't do it in the daytime. So them 6 days probably was like another 2 months or something, right? You got to hide, you got to wait, you got all. But yeah, so let's just get to the business, right? I'm curious to know, like, what y'all experienced today, how it resonated in your soul, and like, what it actually means for you. So I'm gonna just pass the mic.
Wow. You can't really put this into words, what I felt, because learning about history, and that a lot of history took place right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Like it's a lot of places here that was directly connected with the Underground Railroad. And women has always been resilient, powerful, having this energy and this determination. Harriet Tubman was just a piece of the history, because after Harriet Tubman came all these other great women like Susan.
B. Anthony. Oh no, Susan. Another.
Yeah, Susan, the one that we
Hampton.
the one that we visited the gravesite today. Her story alone and how she escaped and then was locked up and directly impacted, like touched me, and just to hear her story and to hear her say that I would rather have stayed a slave.
Wow.
And the reason why she said that is because walking like they walked with bloody bare feet and no food and starvation made her say, I should have stayed a slave. And I can relate that to myself sometimes when I have all of the credentials, I have 4 degrees, top of the class in my HVAC class, and they still deny me because of my past. And it makes you say, man, I should have stayed locked up sometimes. Because that's the mentality that it sets you in. But after visiting the gravesite today and after going to the house that we went to today, I no longer feel that way. It hurts, but it makes me say that I got a lot more work to do, because if they can walk all of those miles barefoot and hungry with that determination, who am I to say I'm tired? I got to keep fighting. So I got a lot of inspiration and hope and will and drive to keep going even harder after today.
Oh, that's love. Yeah, that resonated with me.
Keisha, I appreciate what you just said. It just
Say
made
your
me.
name too.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kimberly Jordan with BFO. The film movement is imperative more now than ever, simply because it's almost like a pandemic. But the pandemic is deeper because we don't have to worry about catching something from somebody else. What about what we deny our own selves? And after today, I'm still very moved because I didn't even understand the depths of what the movement even looked like. There are people that's laying down because they believed that we deserve to be free. They foresaw what we are trying to do today. But we understand that these houses, these graveyards, they're not there for no reason. They're there to remind us our purpose. And if you don't have a fight in you, think about where you came from and allow that to be your motivation. Because it's so necessary that we collectively come together. How do you think we got free? Because she didn't definitely do it by herself. So either you're going to join or you're going to keep watching. But it's time for us to take control because we deserve to be free. Don't you agree? Yes.
My name is Terry. I am a member of Building Freedom Ohio. I'm a member of BFO. And my experience today made me feel a lot of passion. I felt a little sorrow, but I also felt strength. And it made me understand more about myself and why I am the way that I am today. Nobody's going to take my freedom of voice, my freedom of choice. Nobody's going to tell me what I cannot do when it comes to standing up for myself, for the betterment of me, and for the betterment of others. I've been a freedom fighter my whole life, not even knowing that's what I was. I stand for the underdogs. And my ancestors fought the same fight as the people who we visited today. They weren't a part of the Underground Railroad, but they was a part of the on-the-ground sharecropping in the sun, working all day long after slavery just to put food on their table. My mom was 5 years old and had to be in the sun all day with nothing to eat, nothing to drink. If that's not strength, I don't know what is. So when I think about my family, I have an old family. I have an uncle as old as 90. When I think about my family, I try not to complain about anything. And I could be sick as a dog, but I'm going to get up and go to work. Nobody's going to know. I'm going to tell somebody I love them. Nobody's going to know. And I am going to be about my people because that's what I stand for. And nobody's going to take that from me. These people fought for us. And their memory still lives today. When you see these houses, these aren't little shacks. These are stone, well-built houses that still stand. So that means people cared. They cared about these people being safe and sheltering them and keeping them safe. They really cared. So that lets me know that it's still people out here that's willing to fight for us. But we got to be willing to fight for ourselves. We got to stop bickering amongst each other, hating on each other, and just join forces. Because that's the only way we're going to have the power that we need. And we need to come together because the world is crumbling right under our feet. What better time is it than now? And lastly, I would like to say, I'm honored to know that I was born in a month that these people fought for us.
Thank you very much, sister. I appreciate you. I just want to say that I want to echo the necessity for all of us to come together. And oftentimes we talk about what we're going to do in our communities. You know, now we have to talk about what we're going to do in our United States. And not what we have to do just as black people, but what we have to do to bring together all people to see what's going on such that we won't allow the rights, privileges, responsibilities to continue to erode, as you said, right up under our feet and right in front of our eyes. We have to take those things that are absolutely important and not lose focus and never allow our children or our ancestors to think that we lost hope. I will not lose hope. I will continue to stand side by side with BFO and all the other organizations that are focused on making sure that we can thrive together, and not just from my African American brothers and sisters, from our black folks, but we need all of us to come together to truly save our nation and make our world a better place and give our children something to look forward to, because I still have hope, and may you always have hope too.
Yeah, I'm Joseph P. Langdon, and today, seeing the Cozad Bates house and all the compartments that he allowed people to come in, the slaves, kind of reminded me when I got captured and put into slavery, right? It was like so symbolic. I was captured, put in prison for 22 years of my whole life, and then I come out here, that means I'm directly impacted, right? So when I come out here, I still feel like a slave, even though I got free. I got hired and fired in the same week based on my background. Something I got convicted of in the 90s. So if it's a way for me to get free, I have to find out how, because when you come out of prison, you come back to a world where they hold you hostage for the things you did in your past. So I'm glad that I was able to see this railroad, these different places, and Sarah Bagby a grave. That was like amazing to me, because it reminded me of keep fighting and running and fighting. And when I say run, I don't mean like run from your problems. At least try to run to a problem solver, or people that you can get influenced by, people that can show you things. And that's what y'all showed me today, because I never knew about anybody outside of Harriet Tubman. Now today I know about Sarah Bagby, so that was prolific, man. Yeah.
How you doing? My name is Dante Ferguson. Building Freedom, Ohio. Today has been like eye opener for me, right? When you walk on the would you say like a plantation? Was that a plantation?
Yeah, plantation.
When you walk on a plantation, right? For me, you feel the energy, right? Of fight. You feel the energy of for me, it's like everything that people went through before me, right? And I don't even know all the heinous stuff that they went through before me, right? But I know that whatever they went through, right, to be free, whatever they went through to vote, right, and we need to vote, right, and we need to stop self-incarcerating ourselves, right, because a lot of courageous women that probably was 70, 80, 90 pounds, right? Little small women, right? And little small men fought to be free, right? They gave their life up, right? They gave their children up just so other children in their family could be free, right? They gave up they lost the battle to win the war, right? And so for me, it's like when I went there today, I never knew. I've been living in Cleveland all my life. I never knew that there was a spot where slaves went to be in the process of being free, right? And I'm a thinker. I'm sitting here thinking like, how many people died on this land, right? It's like it's a moment for me, right? Because in the streets, right? Sometimes men in the streets have to make bad decisions, right? And it's like, damn, man, what do these people do to get here for us to be free, right? And I feel like, damn, like we don't even gotta take a big major step. We gotta take a small step towards them people that fought for us, that traveled for us with no shoes and no socks on, right? The people that left their children behind for their other children and their other family members and their cousins and their ancestors can be free. So that's a small. I got a lot in me, but that's a small little.
No, that's real. That's real, man. I'm like, I'm gonna tell you, because ain't no sense us doing this. We ain't gonna be real, right? Right. And I remember, like, when I first got locked up, I was still of the same mentality, born coming up through the trauma, degradation, despair. You know, like I was with the shit. Like, you know, I mean, I thought it was kill or be killed, all that. And when I got to the joint, I'm gonna tell you, the first experience for me was I was sitting in the hot seat. It was an anger management class, right? And I'm talking about like, I'm telling them how, you know, I was little, getting tied up, whoopings, all type of stuff, you know. And I never questioned that, like, that was something that shouldn't happen to a kid. I just thought, like, you know, I was doing something, so I got what I had coming, you know. Therefore, I give what somebody else got coming. But what happened to me in that moment was it made me realize that it was things that I believed that I never questioned. I never questioned where that belief came from, right? And so, like, as I started to, like, exploring, like, man, what else do I believe? Like, you know, I got this strong constitution. You know, I'm standing on it. You know, I'm standing on mine. I'm going to tell you, like, I realized that, like, if it is an evil force that exists, which I think it do, I was like, man, I've been used. I felt like an evil force was using me as one of their soldiers. You know what I'm saying? And when I got conscious, I was like, in the joint, I was like, man, I ain't gonna serve that army no more. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing when I came to that realization was like, man, I'm gonna do everything in my power to not hurt my own. You know, or hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because hurt people do hurt people. You know what I'm saying? And I lived in a hurtful place for a long time. And when I realized, right, that the decisions I was making was based on my own trauma, right, and it wasn't for the greater good for the people, right, then I just really had to settle in on the fact, like, you know, I ain't about to be an agent of destruction.
Right.
You know? And thinking about that, you know, from a street side, and then going even further, like, to, like, the reality of, like, how I got to Ohio, and my grandmother, great-grandmother, and all the stuff that they done did, man, it was disconnected. We don't know. And if we don't know, we don't even entertain it, so how can we respect it? You know, so, like, this movement, to me, is divine. It's so divine that I'm probably going to have to, as I move forward, I'm going to have to probably ask my ancestors for permission, you know, to even, you understand, speak, you know, speak into existence the realities that they suffered through. You know, so this shit, man, I believe, like, you know, I believe that, you know, it is hope that we can collectively come together and, like, do something, you know, that actually make the world a better place. You know, so I'm on that. I'm on that right now. So, you know, yeah. Shit. So, you know, like, I'm thinking, like, so we got this movement, we got this film movement, right? And I'm almost thinking, like, shit, I didn't really even realize how deep the movement was when we jumped out there. Let me break it down, because I want you to understand, like, how the film movement came about. The first thing we realized that, so it was a lady did a book, right, and she was talking about the type of capacity we needed to, like, change policy and change people's opinion, because a lot of people judge us based on not knowing us. You know what I'm saying? So first thing we was like, man, this is bigger than black and white. This ain't no black fight. We fight. Nor was the enslavement period, because it was good white folks that helped us. I say that, you know, my sister was like, you can't be saying good white. I mean that. You know, I mean that. You know, because racism is real in America. So, you know, I categorize it like, you know, you got good white folks. What do I mean? You got white folks that just by the color of our skin, they want to kill us. Or they want us harmed. You know?
Or locked up.
Or locked up, right? You got them kind. And then you got the kind that want to be nice to us, but ain't going to risk their life for us to be free.
Right. Right.
You know? They're the ones that keep us on the plantation, you understand, to be nice to us. You know, still might whoop you if you get out of place, but they'll be somewhat nice. And then you get the ones like Susan B. Anthony and John Brown that's buried in Akron that put their life on the line because at the core of their belief system, they believe in humanity and equity and justice. Them the ones that hid the enslaved in the basement, putting their own life on the line, right? So I look for them, you know. But so the historical context was that the Underground Railroad, that movement consisted of, you know, a multicultural effort to like help people in a transfer of trust. Like, I don't know you, but I'm gonna tell you, go by that oak tree. If you get to that oak tree, somebody gonna come at the dusk of dawn and they good. They gonna help you. And you gotta have faith. Right. Cause they gonna kill you if they catch you. So you gotta hide, and then somebody look and you trying to get a son, then they take you to the church or, you know, the basement or the farm, whatever they hide you. And doing this all the way across the land, man, that's transfer of trust. So I look at that then, I'm saying, how can we trust each other? You know, man, I know a lot of people be, you know, hating on me, but, you know, whatever. But how do we, not knowing each other, right? You know Kim, I know Kim, but so the social networking analysis that come with this movement is a transfer of trust. It's called strong tie, weak tie. Show you how it works. Kim a strong tie with you because y'all probably did a bit together. Y'all 10 toes down, y'all know each other. But you don't know me. But Kim know me. I know Tim. Me and Tim went to school together. So he a strong tie to me and a weak tie to Kim. Because I'm saying Tim is 100% legit. He one of us. And Kim, because she trusts me, she transferred that trust to Tim. So now even though she just meeting him, it's still a connection. And you just meeting me, but it's a connection. You see? And imagine like we start doing that state to state, city to city. Akron, you understand? Donovan is in Akron. Me and him was in the joint together. I watched him for 10 years. I was in there. I know his constitution. But he introduced me to people in Akron that I didn't know. And because of our relationship, he transferred their trust to me. I transferred my Cleveland trust to him, and therefore we got connection. But it get deeper than that. Because in the public arena where the game is played, where politics is at, voting matter. Voting as a strategy, right? And so one of the things that we hold as a core value is that you must register to vote to be a part of the film movement. You must register. Even though our ancestors died for the right to vote, yeah, you might not get that, and you know, slavery was a long time ago, you ain't really with that, I get all that. But you must register to vote because voting is a strategy. And we realize that people in power only care about staying in power, right? And we know that if we register to vote, and based on the democratic system that's in place, if we got thousands of people that are registered to vote, we know that people in power that need those numbers gonna listen to what we care about. Right. And if they don't, then we got an option of being able to collectively come together and get somebody else in that power position that care more about what we care about than somebody that don't. That's the movement. There's 2 million individuals in Ohio with felony convictions. But we said, you know, it's hard to move directly impacted people because they don't want to identify. They don't want to identify because once people know you got a felony, they like, what you did, is you weird? Is you going to do it again? Is you still a criminal? Oh man, this is a scarlet letter. So a lot of people don't even want, once they get past that, they want that to be behind them. But we see it as a strategy. We see us collectively in Ohio because we can vote with being directly impacted. We see it as a vehicle for us to build more collective power for a better democracy. It's the movement. And then we said, guess what, since we can't depend on all 2 million of us, we're going to spread the net even wider. Because we realized that when Terry's mom, you know, she had to go down there and see Terry, and she seen Terry on the news, and her friends and neighbors like, must have wasn't a good parent. Oh, I don't know what. Oh my God, I can't believe her daughter did that. No, that's impact. That's impact that she got to bear. It's impact when you got to run and check on the lawyer, and you got to answer the collect call or pay the bill. So family is impacted. Your friends, the ones go check on your family, check on your kids, see your kids in the street, give them a couple of dollars. Tell them, I know your dad, hey, know your mom. They impacted. And then we call in the faith community to the table too, because the Son of Glory said that when I was in prison and you came to see me, he said, Lord, when was you in prison? He said that you did it to the least of my brethren, you did it to me. So if you believe in a higher power, then we asking you, do you believe in redemption? You understand? And, and if you do, then you got to stand up. This is what our movement look like. This is what our movement look like. And this to me is a testimony that is working. We ain't in the same place we was 6 months ago. It's people that wasn't on what we own, they own it now. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah.
What you think? I see something. I see something percolate.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact that people are beginning to not wake up, but it's almost like when you sleep and your phone ring and you half woke and you answer and your eye open trying to see who it is, people got their eye because we are beginning to awaken the realities of what's needed. People are coming from different cities to hear more about what we are about. Because if we don't do it, people know that we're going to fall by the wayside. And when you say, Fred, it's count time. People need to understand it's beyond prison. It's time for you to be counted for your actions. But if you want to add that to our count time, we get that too. But it's time for us to be counted and be accountable. Because if we not, all this and what concerns me about our society, so many people in the world across the universe was so angry about George Floyd. Because I was too, and I was locked up. But if we can get that same kind of movement for ourselves, world, we will be untouchable. But don't let it be because of a life. Let's be because we're ready to gain a life, our own.
Something that Fred said, that scripture, which is in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and that is so true. And I am a avid churchgoer. Anyone who knows me know that church is centered with my name. And so I picked 2 people from my church that I knew if they came just once and just seen what it was about, what was going to happen. And so I invited one of the deacons and one of the sisters who had been in the church, who's like up there. And they didn't know what they was coming to, but just on the strength of me being me inviting them, they came. And I watched them as the panel was going on and things was going on, and I watched the brother do a whole, and then because he went from sitting there like this at the end, he hanging on to every word. I'm watching his body language, because body language is everything. And I watched Sister Willette, because she was on her phone at first, and then that phone got put down, and then it had him. And so afterwards, I saw him jack Terry up for like an hour afterwards, so I knew that they was locked in. And so he told me Sunday, he was like, I said, I need some of those tickets back. He was like, no, you can't take my tickets. I got people too. And so now he's vested. And I always say that if the church is not behind you, then I don't know what type of church you're in. Because my church knows me. Like, I've been going since I was 11, so they know that anything I do is positive, it's uplifting, and come and see what we're trying to do. So now I got them. Because I needed them. The churches in the community is everything. It's a lot of power in churches. A lot of power. So He's totally blown away with Terry and what we're doing, and wants to become active. And like he was a doctor, the manager at the hospital Cleveland Clinic for like years, so he wants to get them involved, and I need him to get them involved because I knew if they just came once, what was going to happen, and I watched that trigger effect, and so now they're talking. So on the 27th, I have a lot of them coming. The ones that's not going to the elder thing that they having, because I know that getting them behind this movement and getting other churches behind this movement is our faith piece, in that's going to build the community, which is going to build what we're trying to do. And churches are powerful.
Yeah.
Like they are powerful in the community. They're powerful.
Yeah, anchor.
Yes. So getting them, that's my thing, because I'm faith all day long. So my thing is I'm fixating on these churches, because with these churches behind, ain't no stopping us.
Okay, so I want to talk about, when Fred first spoke to me about Harriet Tubman and the fact that this is the Awareness Month, I did research. And when I did the research and saw all these places in Ohio where our slaves was hidden, it was phenomenal, But what I want to say about that is, even though some of us are still considered slaves under the 13th Amendment, we don't have to hide. So my declaration to you is to come out of hiding. Quit hiding your face. You may have a degree, you may have a nice job, but you don't want nobody to know that you are directly impacted. But it's important for them to know, because if they can't see that perfect picture that we are not what you guys think we are, then they won't even think about giving us an opportunity to have a little bit of relief. So all you doctors, lawyers, you lower degree felons that's out here with these prestigious jobs and making thousands of dollars, please come forward so they can see that it's a possibility for us to be phenomenal whole citizens, so they could consider lifting some of these sanctions off of us, because we are capable of being just as great as the ones who's been out here their whole life. Most of you that's been out here your whole life, I did 30 years in prison. I come home, you're still doing the same thing you was doing when I left. But we're out here and we want to show you that we may not have been rehabilitated by the system, but we learn to rehabilitate ourselves. And we have a light inside of us that if we are given that relief, I guarantee this world will be a totally different type of America. That some of you probably begging to be felons. I'm being funny about that, but I'm serious. Give us a chance, because we got what it takes to make America great.
For the first time.
I just want to highlight the transfer of trust. That's very, very, very important, and how it was broken down to me, right? Because right now we all trusting each other through other people in this safe space, right? Putting all our minds together, our thoughts, our ideas, our concepts, becoming one mind, body, and soul, right? But if it wasn't for the transfer of trust, this wouldn't be as peaceful as it is. So I'm glad that I met all of y'all, because I'm not from here. I'm from New York City. And, slavery anywhere is slavery everywhere, right? Oppression anywhere is oppression everywhere, right? That's the same thing with redemption. So I love what BFO is doing. I love what Terry represent, Kim, my sister Keisha, and my man's right here. You know what I mean? Dante, right? And I want to continue to move forward with y'all, because I can feel high frequency right now. And I believe, though, I believe it. You know what I'm saying? Some things I don't believe. I don't believe everything now. From Brooklyn, right?
That's right.
Yeah. You know, I got to sniff it out. But I believe this right here, and I believe the impact and how organic it is and how it's going to flow and diversify. You know, women, like he was saying, 80-pound women. They still here. They still here, right? Like the ant colony, you feel me? Yeah. So I just want to reiterate that transfer of trust, because I have to learn more about that and at least be more open-minded to that as well. Because, you know, when you've been through that trauma,
Come on, man.
it's kind of hard to just love, you know, but it's important for us to be like that at this moment, you know. So big shout outs to BFO, you know. You already know.
Yeah. So yeah, the 80-pound thing, right? It's like, man.
It's real, you know.
Those people was fearless, right? In the times where it was okay to be scared, right?
Yeah.
And they stood up and they stood on business, right? 2025, there's a famous quote, right, that's going around, right? It's called "Understand the Assignment," right? So the assignment in 2025 is, man, to get to these votes into office, man. So then our people can be in position, right? Because it was a crime to be in a position. It was a crime to vote, right? So, and people back then were still voting, even though you can get killed for voting, right? You can get hung, you can get whipped, you can get starved, you can get your child took from you, right? But those people back then still find it in their soul, in their mind, and their willpower to still stand on business and vote. So that's what we got to do in 2025, vote.
Understand the assignment, huh?
Yeah, understand the assignment. I like that. We got you. It's narrative. We got to change the narrative too, because a lot of people misconstrue who we are. Like they think, oh man, you directly impacted, so you must be soft on crime, or you know, you apathetic to crime. If I was apathetic to crime, I wouldn't have been home 26 years without incident. I'd still be committing it, right? So we got to be careful about letting other people define who we are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't need no handout. I need a hand up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm able-bodied. I want to put in work. I want 2 good jobs with the Rolls-Royce truck, if I choose. You know what I'm saying? I ain't looking for you to give me nothing, but I ain't looking for you to hold me back. So we have to redefine narrative, too. Because there's people out here that ain't got a clue of who we are, what we represent, where our values are lined up at, and they are setting the stage of how we think, how we move, and it's been a disservice to us. It's been a disservice to us. You know what I'm saying? And let me be clear. If you commit a crime, your ass needs to go to jail. Because if I commit a crime, I expect if I get caught to go to jail. But if you have finished committing crimes, have paid your time, paid your debts, paid your fines, paid your fees, got off probation and parole, man, let them go. Let them go ahead and live their life. Let them aspire to be whatever is humanly possible for them. Instead of talking about because they did that, they is that. No, I did a whole bunch of things, but what I did ain't who I am. So we got to redefine our narrative too, right? And hey, man, everybody can't ride the train. Everybody can't build the train. But if you just want to wait and sit on the sideline, maybe you'll catch up with the train, maybe you won't, right? But I'm running Vanguard. I'm running Vanguard, like the ones, you understand, that like the ones of old. I feel like I got the spirit of Harriet, Tubman, and Frederick in me. Okay. You know, and so I'm just happy to be in alignment. The movement is real. It's divinely led. I'm glad to meet my brother from the NYC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't no mystery. Brooklyn in the building. Yeah, and it's love. It's love and clarity, you know. So we're going to be who we are. We're going to stand on business. I understand the assignment. And I stand to be tried, never denied, tried and tried again. So yeah, I'm just get to the convening, man. The 27th, man. Yeah, I know the Browns playing Detroit on Sunday, and I know you want to go to Detroit a day early, get to the casino, strip club. I know that. But understand the assignment, man. We trying to get free, man, and we trying to get these collateral sanctions What is that? Collateral sanctions is the barriers you face once you catch a felony conviction. It lasts for the rest of your life. It's over 2,700 collateral sanctions that stop people from getting jobs, certifications, employment. Didn't my brother from New York say, with all them degrees, that when he got a job, they fired him in the same week? Soon as his record came back, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So
And that's why it's time to be counted.
yeah. And the last thing is, we definitely talking to them brothers and sisters that when you go in them courtrooms and you see them people with them black robes, you change your voice. And no, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. Your back get bent. You understand? You know, your palms start sweating. Yeah, we talking directly to you. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. You can stand up. You can stand up. Because we standing up. You can stand up with us. So we putting you on notice, man. The 27th, we in the building. Civic Center, Mayfield and Lee. Count time to be counted. You know, or counted out. You know? Yeah, that's Fred Ward. That's a count time, yeah.
Count me in.
You heard me?
Count me in. Count me in.
You gotta bring the whole Brooklyn with you,
That
you heard?
should be the
know.
deluxe edition.
So
This generation